Today we'll be talking about IAs. To demonstrate, I'll show you an experiment with coffee filters. What do you think if I drop both of these two filters with equal weight and dimensions from the same height? Will one fall faster? Same. Now I'm going to put another coffee filter on top of this one, and what do you think will happen? Raise your hand if you think both will drop the same. Raise your hand if you think one will drop faster. Now raise your hand if you don't really know what to think. I'm just here writing down notes. See, that was my experiment. But what is an internal assessment? It begins with a cover page. This is your title and candidate number, and in the header should be a short version of your title with your IB number. In the footer should be just the page number. And for spacing and font size, 12-point font, 1.15 or 1.5 spacing. The score for both those, same. Next is personal engagement, which is 8% of the overall grade and is out of 2 points. You gotta choose a topic that you find interest in. Like, I drink coffee every morning, so I know a lot about the filters here. One morning I dropped one and out came an experiment. I wonder why it fell so slow and now genuinely want to learn more about the topic. That's a good IA. HC. Your interest in your experiment will show as you describe your reasoning behind experimentation. You should justify why you chose the research question and or topic in this section of your IA. Remember, gang, the personal engagement is where you describe your interest in the investigation. In total, it should be around a page. The next 3 topics, gang, are each out of 6 points. Exploration, analysis, and evaluation. Now for exploration, which is 25% of your IA. You want to back up your experiment with scientific context, yeah! Do some research so that you know that your experiment is valid. What materials are coffee filters made of? Does their design impact when they reach terminal velocity? Use your resources. Now for your research question. Remember, gang, this is the main topic of your investigation. Make sure it's not too narrow, or not too, starts with W, ends in I'd. Wide, yeah, that's right, gang. Also, you gotta remember to include ethical, environmental, and safety considerations. You can't be burning down your house or setting little Jimmy on fire. Alright, gang, analysis is 25% of your IA grade. It's where you have to explain your experiment. HC, gang. Yes, Lee.
It has to be understood by your audience, especially your IB graders.
Alright, Lee, that's true. Your experiment has to be simple enough that you, as introphysicists, can do it, but also not so simple that there would be no point to be doing it. The analysis should have one thing that be going along with the data. Starts with ends in certainty. Uncertainty. Now onto evaluation, which is 25% of the final. This is where the grader sees if you have, starts with an E, Evie, that's right, evidence. Your conclusion should be described and justified, and most importantly, supported by your data. Do your charts and graphs show a difference in coffee filter flight time? If so, what does that indicate and why? Also, be sure to discuss the strengths and weaknesses of your experiment. Did you minimize the random error, and did you compare filters that were same? Finally, you've got to say how you're going to improve, because without improvement, science will not progress. Ha, got you there. Finally, communication. This section is 17% of the IA grade and is scored out of 4 points. This is how you grab the reader's attention, gang. Now, does anyone know how this can be done? Yes, Lee.
Well, the presentation should be clear.
You are absolutely right. This does not mean that your paper will be perfect, but any errors should not distort your IA. For example, velocity versus speed. Velocity is a vector quantity, meaning it requires both magnitude and direction. On the other hand, speed is a scalar quantity, meaning it requires only magnitude. It's things like these, gang, that will win the reader and help you get a better score. Lastly, organization is crucial to a clear understanding of your experiment. Now your homework is to go home and find out what you're going to do for your IA.